Hello everybody, a warm welcome back to the Incubables channel. In today's discussion, we are going to be discussing multiplication and division of fractions. Before this video, we had discussed the meaning, definition, the types of fractions, as well as addition and subtraction of fractions. So please check out the video for those other presentations to be able to follow up on our presentation today. Now, I will begin with multiplication of fractions. To multiply fractions, I'll use two simple examples to illustrate this discussion. First of all, I'll do an example number one by multiplying the fraction 3 over 4 times 2 over 6. That's I'm multiplying 3 over 4 and 2 over 6. Now, the trick in multiplying fractions is to put the numbers in the numerator together as well as those of the denominator. So that will now give us 3 times 2 divided by 4 times 6. That's 3 times 2 divided by 4 times 6. If you multiply that out, you now have a fraction of 6 over 24. And of course, 6 over 24, when reduced to its lowest term, will become 1 over 4. So that's our first example of multiplying fractions. Now, our second example of multiplying fractions is going to be multiplying a mixed fraction. So we're multiplying 3 and 1 over 2 times 1 and 2 over 7. That's example 2. 3 and 1 over 2 times 1 and 2 over 7. Now, the trick in multiplying mixed fractions is that you have to convert the mixed fraction into an improper fraction before you do the multiplication. So doing that, 3 and 1 over 2, when converted, becomes on the first side 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 of the numerator, it becomes 7 over 2. So the first part becomes 7 over 2. And the right hand side becomes 7 times 1 is 7. Adding 2 of the numerator, it becomes 9. So it becomes 9 over 7. And when you have done that, you could see that we have 7 on the numerator side and 7 on the denominator side. So those ones can cancel out. Cancelling them out now leaves us with 9 over 2. And of course, 9 over 2, when taken back to a mixed fraction, becomes 4 and 1 over 2. And that's our answer. So that's our discussion on multiplication of fractions and the examples I have given. Now let's go on to division of fractions. To divide the fraction, there's a simple rule that applies if you're dividing fractions. You need to, first of all, change the sign from division into multiplication, and then you now flip the right hand side of the fraction. So like what was the denominator goes to become the numerator, and what was a numerator goes to become the denominator. So I'll take a first example of dividing fractions. So I'll do 2 over 3 divided by 4 over 6. Example 1 again, 2 over 3 divided by 4 over 6. Then that will now become 2 over 3. When the sign has changed to multiplication, the right hand side becomes 6 over 4. So it becomes 2 over 3 times 6 over 4. Now, using our usual method, we multiply the numerator as well as denominator. So we now have 2 times 6 divided by 3 times 4. Now, multiplying that out will give us 12 over 12. And when cancels, becomes the number 1. That gives us an example on how we divide fractions. So our second example on division of fractions is going to be the numbers 5 over 6 divided by 10 over 18. That is 5 over 6 divided by 10 over 18. Now in multiplying that, we're going to convert the right hand side into 18 over 10 when the sign changes. So that will now give us 5 over 6 times 18 over 10. 5 over 6 times 18 over 10. So we now multiply the numerator and the denominator like done before. So that will now give us 5 times 18 divided by 6 times 10. 5 times 18 divided by 6 times 10. Now cancelling that out, see that 5 goes into the numerator and the denominator. So 5 cancels 10 in the two places. And then 6 cancels the denominator once and cancels the numerator in 3 places. So that leaves us with the number 3 over 2. 3 over 2 will reduce to a mixed fraction. Will give us the numbers 1 and 1 over 2. 1 and 1 over 2. So that just gives us a second example on how to divide fractions. Of course, it ends up with multiplication. Now, in our next video, we're going to be using the BODMAS method of resolving fractions. So watch out for this video on how to use BODMAS to resolve fractions. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to click on the subscribe button to have notifications on our future presentations. Thanks once again.